Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Joel Freeman, and you're watching Wholehearted. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. It helps support the channel. Today, we're welcoming on a brand new, never on this channel, seen before guest, my brother, Lee Freeman.
Hey, everybody. It's good to meet you all. I'm excited to be with you.
Awesome. So today we're going to be playing a little kind of casual round of disc golf. I'm interested to see where your game's at, because you used to have some skills, and they're probably kind of like, you know, dip down, little rough around the edges. But I'm expecting that you'll be throwing some decent shots by the end of our round.
Well, I think that's very generous of you. I would say my goal for today is to have one shot that is better than one of your shots.
So throughout our round today, we're going to be going way beyond the topic of disc golf, diving into something that is very close to your heart and becoming closer and closer to mine as I become more and more informed. What's the real purpose of this video today?
Well, for one, we get to hang out, but also we're going to be talking about the foster care system. Yay! And a nonprofit that my wife and I started called Foster a Light. And really what we're doing is we're trying to improve the foster system. My wife and I fostered for a while, and there were really beautiful things about that. We met some amazing people along the way, but we also saw a lot of brokenness in the system. And so we started this nonprofit to be able to address that and really to step into some spaces that don't really have any other organizations doing this work right now. So we're doing some important work that nobody else is doing.
Yeah, so some really amazing, in-depth, and really meaningful conversations. I hope that you guys learn a ton. And then towards the end, we're of course going to get into some ways that you guys can jump on board. Anything else you want to say to the viewers before we get going?
Yeah, I just want to elaborate that one of the biggest myths in the foster system is that only a few people can do something. The reality is that everyone can do something that makes an important difference in this crisis.
Another nice little cliche for you guys, but cliches are cliches for a reason. It's so true. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you each and every one of you for all of your support, and let's get this thing going.
Yeah, here we go.
All right.
Go for it.
Ready?
Yep.
What a start! Oh my gosh. If you guys notice anything weird with my form, had a little cooking accident the other day, so I will not be using my pinky. Yeah, I'm not leaving that unless it goes in. Hey! Oh, what a shot.
Yeah.
The kind of putt that Joel would make reliably, but it's very difficult for me.
It's an underrated putt.
Oh,
look at that.
Yes.
Gorgeous. The good old four-finger putt. Oh, nope. Answer is no. So, Foster a Light. Why that name? What does that mean?
Yeah, so a light means it's got a couple of meanings. One is on fire, like a flame, and I like the fire imagery because there's a destructive connotation to it, but a light specifically is more about bringing light and warmth, which there are some things that might need to burn in the system, like realistically, but we're much more about bringing light and warmth. The other meaning is to land gracefully like a bird lands.
And bird landing a light?
Yeah, a bird alights on a branch or whatever. Okay. And that's our goal as well, right? Because we don't want to just knock everything over. We really want to be strategic and to have right-sized interventions.
Awesome. Cool. Foster a Light. And I love the logo. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Sweet. Thanks.
Hmm. Oh,
Oh, that is uncharacteristic.
Woo!
Oh my gosh. All right, so the logo. Hopefully you guys are already looking at it. I plan to have it up on the screen somewhere, but tell us a little bit about the feather.
Yeah, so the feather really combines both meanings of the word alight. We've got the feather element, which has the bird landing gracefully, and then we've got the fire element, which is the kind of providing light and warmth. Part of the logo was inspired by a bird in Australia. I want to say it's called a firebird. And
That's
it's
cool.
Yeah, native people there had they had this part of their mythology was that this bird would pick up burning embers and actually spread fire to new areas. And when other people came and colonized Australia and stuff, they didn't believe it. They were like, oh, that's just part of the mythology. But then just like 10 or 15 years ago, they finally got like scientific proof that actually this is a real thing.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool, and we want to have a similar kind of humility as we step into this space, that like we don't know everything, and there are people who came before us who know stuff that we should learn from, but then also a sense of discovery that there are new opportunities in improving the foster system that maybe we don't know about yet.
That's awesome. Firebirds, improving your disc golf game and changing the world. All tied up after 5. Woo! Beautiful.
Nice.
And here's where the field widens. Little roll.
Yeah, Lee.
The death by like a champ. So Lee, how and when did all this start? You hinted at it slightly in your intro, but where did this all start?
Yeah, so in 2019, my wife and I became certified foster parents, and we were placed with a little baby girl. We got her when she was a month old, and we kept her for a year and a half. So we went through all the meetings, all the normal stuff that's part of fostering, and then we actually had a pretty serious kind of contested court case, so we were part of a lengthy legal process as well, and saw a lot of that side of things, and just along the way we just saw a lot of room for improvement. We saw a lot of people trying to do their best, a lot of people with great hearts, but a system that was kind of in many ways designed to confound them, to get in their way. So we just made the commitment to start a nonprofit and learn how we could help and where we could intervene. I guess it was about May of 2021 that we started that work and became a 501c3 nonprofit in October is when we filed. And since then we've just been doing the work, learning more about the system and trying to step in and make a change, facilitate collaboration between different agencies and directly help the people who are involved. One of the specific issues is that people are just spread too thin in this system. If we could break the cycles, if we could have fewer people in the system, there's more than enough support to go around. So that's one of the things that we want to do as Foster a Light, is we want to help to break the cycle, because there are a lot of families who lose a kid to the foster system and then they re-enter a few years later when they have another kid. And that's one of the things we want to prevent. We want to equip biological parents to be able to heal their lives so that they don't come back into the system later, and so that there's kind of more resources for everybody to go around.
Come back.
Straighter.
Yep.
Sidewinder.
Ooh.
Go.
Ooh.
Good line. Well, speaking of Firebirds, let's try this here Metal Flake one.
Speaking of trying,
Oh, that's a crush.
Yeah.
All right, Lee, so give us a feel for kind of some of the biggest kind of specific issues within this foster system.
yeah, so one of the big issues that a lot of people know about is there's a lack of foster homes. There just aren't enough foster parents doing the work. There are a lot of foster parents who are doing it and doing a great job, but we need more. And that's a continuing need. But a lot of people look at that and they go, oh, I could never do that. Well, first of all,
Intimidating.
Yeah, it is. It's like all in. That's the green berets of the system, right? I would challenge you if you say you can't do it. I think a lot of people can. A lot of people can who think that they can't. But there are other things they can do too. One of the great kind of first steps to that is being a respite provider. And that's where you just agree to watch the kids for a few hours or even a few days while the foster parents go out of town, which is an absolute necessity for them to get a break. That allows them to stay in the system to keep doing the necessary work. That helps with foster parent retention, which it addresses that first crisis that I told you about.
So it's like a foster babysitter kind of?
Yeah, exactly. You end up being a really important resource for that family. One of the other issues is there's not a lot of support out there for biological parents. And that makes sense because they're kind of the go-to villains of the story, if you will. But the reality is that they're just people too. And a lot of times they just don't have a lot of support. They don't have a lot of social connection. And because they're kind of the go-to villains, they get written off a lot. And there are good reasons for that. But also, if we want to break the cycles, we have to reach out to those people. So that's one of the things that we're most involved in as Foster a Light, is trying to reach out and break those cycles, bring those people back into community, and get them back in a place where they can be contributing members of society so that they can take care of their own children. Because studies show that that's the best outcome for kids, is when their parents get healthy and they get to keep them. Then they're not ever going through that trauma in the first place of being separated from their parents, which is really a lifelong wound. And then the last kind of key issue that we're kind of tackling is that there's just a lack of awareness in general. A lot of people don't know much about the foster system. They know it's out there, they know it's ugly, they know it's messy, but they don't know a lot of specifics. They don't know what they can do to intervene. So that's one of the things that we want to work out. We want more people to be talking about it, aware of the issues and aware of how they can help. So big thanks to you for having me on the channel. Big thanks to everybody for watching, because you guys are part of that solution.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm supposed to say this because this is my channel, but please do share the video, not just for my sake, not just for disc golf's sake, but for our entire world, you know, for kids, for foster kids. And I love the point about bio parents. That's something that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. Given my understanding, I see a big part of the solution as we need to stop seeing bio parents as the enemy within the situation, but instead provide them with whatever they need, whatever healing, whatever support, whatever love, to eventually and ultimately see them kind of healed and reunited, you know, with their family or just with a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. That's critical. The more we treat them as outsiders, the less likely they are to get to a healthy place. But the more we can extend a hand and invite them back into a functional, healthy world, the more we can break those cycles and see fewer families and fewer kids in pain.
Yep, isolation only lets the bad cycles continue. Speaking of continuing, let's bang some chains.
Of course, that's...
Yeah.
Ooh.
Skip in.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know for myself, until pretty recently, when I became a little more informed, I didn't really understand how important this topic was. Speak a little bit to why this is so important and how the whole foster world impacts the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's really mind-boggling when you know some of the data behind it. When we look at all of the biggest issues in society, all of the things that we're most concerned about in regards to people, incarceration, addiction, sex trafficking, homelessness, poverty, all of those issues are intertwined with the foster system. In fact, the foster system kind of sits at this intersection, this like inflection point with many of those issues. So most of the people who are incarcerated in the US today have spent time in the foster system. Most of the girls involved in sex trafficking today have spent time in the foster system.
Yeah, so by providing people with the proper resources and the proper support to keep them out of the foster system and into kind of a healthier setup, a healthier environment, giving them a more well-supported life, keeps them out of much more dangerous and harmful situations down the road. For an organization like Foster Light to come in and try to, I don't know if this word is a little too dramatic, save these people before they even get into some of these situations, it's all for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. So many of these issues go back to a sense of belonging, a sense of worth in myself. If I believe that I am precious, that people care about me, that I belong, then I may not be driven to some of the desperation that leads people to commit crimes for which they're incarcerated, or to go into sex trafficking or things like that. When we can create healthy interdependence of a community and really support these people and show them love, that's in so many ways the antidote.
Yeah, I can hardly think of a better cause. I know that's another cliche, but again, the more informed that I've become about this whole subject, the more I've realized just how important it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, she started seeping, so I'm going lefty the rest of the round. Gotta give Lee a chance to catch up. Elevate. Stop the bleeding. Oh. 50-footer. Oh, not a bad try. Ready?
Yep. Ooh! Once again.
Oh yeah. Jump in. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Not bad. Oh.
Nice.
The dreaded hole 18, a lefty's nightmare. / forehands. Oh, that's a good angle though. All right.
Yeah. That'll
Heck
work.
yeah. Okay. That's the best you can do with forehand, folks.
Come on.
I can't
Oh.
believe that thing actually flies. That's like such a flippy disc.
It's incredibly
Indeed.
Got it out there.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Very nice.
Probably the best I've ever played this hole.
All right, not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed in the left hand today. Rewind the clock a couple years, and I was pretty good left-handed. I might have been like 900 rated lefty player. Come on, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
note to finish on.
There we go. Yes. Nice work.
So there it is. A couple pars on the last hole. Not easy to do with forehand or lefty. So that's awesome. Man, you've definitely exceeded my expectations with your game. How do you feel after that?
Well, thanks. Yeah, I feel pretty good. I exceeded my own expectations. I think that's one of the best games I've ever thrown, believe it or not, based on how mediocre it looks. But yeah, I was especially impressed with the Joel Freeman Scarab. I hit some putts that were pretty huge for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good putter. This might not mean anything to you, but I noticed a little Chandler Kramer form going on in your forehand. Chandler Kramer is best forehand thrower of all time in the game of disc golf. So,
wow. Then I would say that's extremely humbling, and I apologize to Chandler.
It's mostly in the lineup, the way you kind of like eye the target. He does a similar thing. So maybe you're on a good track. Maybe your forehand's got a bright future.
All right, yeah, maybe I can jump in the senior division eventually.
Cool. So as we wrap up here, tell the viewers kind of how they can get involved with everything that we've been talking about.
Yeah, thanks so much for asking that question, and thank you everybody for watching to this point. I know this is a little bit atypical for a Joel Freeman video, but I'm humbled to have the opportunity to talk to you guys. And if there's one thing that I hope you leave this video with, it's that every person can make a difference. Every person can do something that matters in this system. So one of the easiest ways to make a difference is to give a donation to an organization that you believe in, who's already making a difference in the foster space. One of those is Foster a Light, so we'd be humbled to receive a contribution if you're interested, but there are all sorts of great organizations that do work like this. So I encourage you to get involved in a local organization. If it's not donating, there are lots of ways to volunteer for events that support families, or to be a respite provider, and you can watch those foster kids for a while to give the foster parents a break. Or if you want to be one of those green berets of the foster system, be an actual foster parent. That makes a huge difference in the life of a child when they have somewhere they can belong, where they've been in turmoil before that. Having that stability and that safety in their life makes all the difference, and can be the fork in the road that means that instead of ending up in sex trafficking, or instead of ending up in the prison system, they can be a healthy member of society. So finally, I would say just be educated about what's going on in your local community, in your local county, in terms of foster care. Because I guarantee you there are great things happening, and I guarantee you there's a need for good people like you.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, Lee. And yeah, bottom line, just get curious, increase your own awareness, and see what's out there. Increase your awareness of how important the whole foster system and kind of the topic that we've been getting into in this video really is. And that's pretty much all we've got for you for this part of the video. Lee, I really enjoyed playing with you. Enjoyed seeing that smooth putting stroke. That was awesome to watch the Scarab go in from long range.
Yeah, thanks. It was a blast. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being on the channel. Thank you. I know we've said this a few times, but really it means a lot for all of you guys who are watching. So thank you for viewing. Thank you for joining and listening in on our conversations. At this point, I will pass it on to my future self to announce this week's giveaway winner and let you guys know how you can get in on next week's giveaway. I really hope you do. I'll let my future self tell you more. Yes, I am so excited about the future of the foster system and some of the things happening right now. Like Lee said, there are some amazing people doing some amazing work. If there are any of you out there who want to jump on board in some way, but you don't know where to start, one of the simplest ways that you can help this cause is just to talk about it. Strike up a conversation, spread the word about what's going on in the foster world and the massive impact that it can have. All right, it's been a long video, but now it's giveaway time. Last week's giveaway was a big one, and last week's giveaway winner is Skylar Swope. So Skylar, you'll be hearing from me soon. In order to enter this week's giveaway, I'm gonna encourage each of you to donate $1 or more to a foster organization. It doesn't have to be Foster a Light, so if there's already one that you know and love, go ahead and donate there. Take a screenshot of it and send it to me on Instagram. That way I can enter you in for a chance to win. You can follow the link in the description in order to submit your donation. I've got about 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and so if each of you donates $1, that's $10,000. If each of you donates $25, that's $250,000 being poured into this effort to save lives, to heal lives, and to make our world a better place. I hope all of you have the opportunity to jump on board, but either way, I deeply appreciate you watching this video all the way to the end. Thank you all for your incredible support, and that's all I've got for you. I'm Joel Freeman, you're watching Wholehearted, and we will see you next time.